I'm out. Everyone went out.
Yeah.
When it got to be the last guy to go out, I said to him, Johnny, I'm going to give you the exact amount of money you need and the exact percentage of the business you want to do for that. Whether it's overpaying, I don't care. You are a farmer, and America needs good little farmers like you. I'm your partner, period. And the guy cried.
Oh.
And he was so excited about it, and the show won an Emmy.
You know, you're doing so much. We've talked about the military, hair, beverages, but you are also active in the entertainment industry.
Yes, ma'am.
You can do it all. So,
oh, you can.
What brought you to producing and acting?
I would just say it just happened along the way. Oh God, it probably started back with, oh my goodness, just going back where there was a movie being made. They made a phone call on, and they said, JP, we're going to make a movie here, and it's called Don't Mess with the Zohan. And
remember that.
Exactly. And you know, and your buddy here wants to go to work for you as a hairdresser, and he's a Secret Service agent in Israel, the Mossad, right? He said, and he'd like you to play your part, but you be Paul Mitchell instead of John Paul Mitchell, okay? I said, sure, be very happy to. And I did. And then I got a call from, oh my God, when they were shooting the shows of not Shark Tank, but the one, Hawaiian Tropic.
Mm-hmm.
Got a call saying, JP, would you and your wife Eloise like to come down to Australia with us to do the last episode? It'll be a 2-hour episode. We said, sure, why not? Sounds like fun. So we had a little baby at the time. We took off and brought our little boy with us down there to Australia, and just one thing kind of led to another, and it just got me doing things. And then all of a sudden I realized that there's a lot of really good stories that have got to be told about regenerative farming, for example, about fuel. So I started getting involved as an executive producer for fuel with Rebecca Tequila and Joss Tequila, and we did that, and we did all kinds of things around that industry to get good messages out. And then our latest one, which is doing really good, is Groundswell, all about regenerative farming. And when we first started all these farming things that we did on the documentaries with them, I think there were about 5 million regenerative farmings in the United States. That was it. We need 1 billion worldwide to change things. Now it's up to 250 million that people are getting to regenerative farming, and we've got to do at least 1 billion of them everywhere. For the next 10 years, we got to do it, or it could be too late because the soil is going down and down in its quality. So I saw these great results. Maybe I didn't make any money off of them. And then it came along, a fellow gave me a great information on the script he's trying to do to help the world know about how there's all this sex trafficking with little children and such, and nobody would touch the script. They all said, this is the greatest thing in the world, but it's too controversial. But we made it anyways. I gave him the money to say, here's $1 million, just get it done.
What was the name of it?
It was called Sound of Freedom.
Okay. Oh.
And nobody would touch it. Once it was done, this is a great story. Nobody would touch it. It was done. We had it done. And for a couple of years, Eduardo went around talking to every studio around. You could talk to those that streamed, those that made movies. No, everyone said it's the best there is. But nobody would touch it. It was too controversial. So Eduardo went around as a religious man telling everybody, no matter what your religion is, especially the Christian religion, just pray for me, please, that this movie we did that JP helped sponsor, we got it out, that an angel would come and get somebody to pick it up, right?
Some distribution.
For distribution. After a couple of months, out of nowhere, he said, we need an angel. Pray for me to have an angel. He gets a phone call from Angel Studios, someone no one ever heard about, out of Provo, Utah, said, we just had somebody that drop out because they don't want their movie shown, and we have a little movie to show on the 4th of July because it's a big one with Harrison Ford, it's new Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But we have half those movie theaters. Would you like to go in? We said, yes, we'd love to go in there. Very long story short, how there really is somebody behind you, and maybe a guardian angel, and there really is a God. By the end of the year, it was one of the best movies of the year.
I remember.
And we did about $300 million with it.
That was such an eye-opener. It was very, when you say controversial,
yes,
it was difficult, but sometimes you need to
have
witness
that difficult story.
Let
people know what's
to
going
make
on.
things better.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's what we got me into. It's amazing what gets you in a new industry.
But you're born in Echo Park,
yes,
and then you're talking about regenerative farming,
yep.
Which I'm going to bring up the Shark Tank episode. Sure. Because people that, let's say they didn't use Paul Mitchell products, but when they saw you on that particular episode, when no one else would really help this gentleman,
Yes.
right? They were all kind of, well, I'm out, I'm out, I'm
Yeah,
out,
of
like they say.
That's right.
But you said you were in. You invested in Tree Teepee Company.
That's right, the Tree Teepee.
Tell us about that.
You bet.
That was amazing.
Mark Burnett's a wonderful guy. I knew Mark. He said, JP, would you like to go on at least an episode of it as a shark? I said, sure, Mark, I'll go on. Knew nothing about the show other than watching it on TV. And people ask, is that real? Do you know what you're up for it? I had no idea other than sit down, there's a microphone, they're to come out, you help judge. So this one fellow came out, was a farmer, Johnny Georges, and talked all about it. He and his dad had these tree teepees. You put around a tree, you use less water, less fertilizer, less everything. It helps nature. I thought, this is a great thing. And he was selling it for $6, I think, to farmers. And the other shark said, well, that's great, but I want to make more money off of that. You should sell it for $12. He came out almost with tears saying, but they're farmers. Some have to have 100 or 500 trees and can't afford that much. I'm out. Everyone went out.
Yeah.
When it got to be the last guy to go out, I said to him, Johnny, I'm going to give you the exact amount of money you need and the exact percentage of the business you want to do for that. Whether it's overpaying, I don't care. You are a farmer, and America needs good little farmers like you. I'm your partner, period. And the guy cried.
Oh.
And he was so excited about it, and the show won an Emmy for that one show.
Yes, it certainly did. And you won the hearts of so many people
Yes.
who were watching. When that happened, you can really almost hear a pin drop, even in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
What was good for me, certainly meeting you today, is when you said you were one of the sharks. No, he's not.
Yeah, well, no, but that was a good shark. There's a good shark.
Yeah,
That was one of the good, a whale shark, a good shark.
Well, tell me about Johnny Georges.
Yeah,
How's he doing today? Is it still going?
Now he had all the money he needed. We were able to do it. And then COVID comes along. He couldn't talk to anybody for 2 years. So, of course, there were no new business because you couldn't talk to anybody. You couldn't get in front of anybody. So he went down. So I kind of gave him a little helping hand during COVID, gave him a few extra dollars. And then after we came out of it, Johnny, we're going back in business again. What do we need? So we are still in business after 8 years. And, he's got a new leaf out there to keep on building this tree teepee.
Wow.
And he's just a really good man. But I figure in life, we see things in life. We're in a world of illusion. You see things. Sometimes they're real and sometimes they're not. Okay? But what is real, we can help one another out and at the same time make their lives better, which make our lives better. I have this one little saying and it's that when you, like success Unshared is failure, but giving anything in life, even if your time, and never asking anything in return, just for giving, helping somebody else, right? You get Pat the highest high you'll ever get in your life. And I went through the 60s, and there was no weed we could smoke there that gets you as high naturally as you can get with just doing something for somebody else, asking nothing in return. It's the greatest high in the world.
I'm going to agree with you on that one.
Yes, ma'am.
John Paul, no question about that. And I've listened just as we were talking about, faith, belief in God.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm with you on that.
Well, I'll tell you something else.
I'm proud to say it.
Yeah.
People don't like to talk about that.
No, they don't, but I sure do. And I'd like to mention something else too, if I may here, because it just shows you what you can do in life. A lot of these things I was finally given permission to do. I am not an agent of any agency. I'm an American citizen, period. But you'll see it in the book of Success Unshared is Failure. When you get to a certain points, you can change the world like you wouldn't believe. I'm the guy that went into Libya and convinced Colonel Gaddafi to release the 2 suspected terrorists of Pan Am Flight 103.
Why am I
to
not
go
surprised?
on trial. I was actually able to go.
I don't remember if I heard about that, though.
Oh, no, we heard about it because it's something I did. I helped them do it. I let the State Department take over. But I did not go in as an agent. I went in as a human being. And they actually handed me the paper. Some good friends saying, JP, no one's able to accomplish this. We want to be friends with them. They want to be friends with us. They've done everything, but they haven't released the 2 suspected terrorists of Pan Am 103. JP, would you go in there and lend a helping hand? Here's what the agreement is. I said, sure. So I had enough money to fly into Tunisia. They arranged it for me so that the Libyan agents could pick me up, drive me for 8 hours because I couldn't fly into Libya. And finally, after a few days, meet with Gaddafi. And the whole story is in there. But I helped change that. And I got him. He wanted to kill me when I got there after what he told me, what I said back to him. But I got him laughing and able to take a picture. The picture's in there.
Oh, is what you said back to him in the book, too?
Oh, yeah. The whole story is back in there, how I got him from. And the guy next to me, he said he spilt his tea on his pants. I think he probably got a little more upset in the little moisture on the pants, maybe. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna get killed. We'll never get out of here.
Well,
But
that's a
it's
story.
The whole stories and then the pictures and everything. Just pointing out that there's a lot of good things we can do to continue. For example, I may have sold Patrón 8 years ago, but why do I have this new tequila Bandero out? Just in 2 seconds before I sold Patrón, I was working on the next generation of tequila. It was Bandero, but because I had not bottled it and I had not sold anything, they let me keep it as long as I didn't do anything with it for 8 years, because it wasn't a Patrón product.
You had to hold on to it.
Exactly. Or for 5 years. Yeah, I could hold on to it, give it to my daughters, anything. But what I was working on was a tequila that had no additives that could get medals. End result, a little over a year ago, the Bandero tequila won the gold medal in Mexico as the best tequila.
So that's better than Patrón.
No, I won't say that because I developed Patrón. There are 2 different ones, but if you want to take something different, we're only in 7 states now. One is the state of California, right? And that is, check this out and taste it with Patrón. Whatever your favorite is, do it. But most aficionados want more than one tequila, and this is not Patrón, it's different, but you taste it and you see what you like the best.
Wow, so in 7 states so far.
We're in 7 states so far, and the coffee tequila, you can make your espresso martinis out of it by not having to put a lot in. It's the same tequila we use in Bandero, that's in our coffee Bandero, with agave for the sweetener and coffee for the coffee. All you do is you put it in your cold shaker full of ice and put a shot of hot espresso in there, shake it up for 20 seconds, strain it in a glass, and you've got the most perfect one you like.
So it's all there. So you don't even have to know about mixology to do that.
You don't need all that. You know, just
well, you know, we've talked, I'm going to talk about this some more, but you're just so fascinating.
I'm here for you.
I got you here, so I want to ask you some more questions.
Yes.
You talked about everything being an illusion. Let's talk about AI for a minute.
Sure.
So is that difficult, would you say, becoming an entrepreneur with the advent of AI? Does it make it a little difficult?
I think it makes it even easier. Because remember, even with AI right now and what it's doing in the electronic world, right, in many, many different worlds, the fact that if you have a product that is sold to humans or used by humans, especially hairdressers, they're going nowhere, okay? They're gonna be right there. AI comes out, and I say this at every conference. I hold a lot of conferences for schools, for young kids, older kids, colleges, whatever, and businesses, even for agencies of the government, okay? As you look at what's coming out, I ask everybody the same question. Please raise your hand in the room to anybody that knows an electrician or a plumber that charges less than $150 an hour. Raise your hand. No one has ever raised their hand in the last 3 years when I asked that AI was even, we're thinking about it coming out, because those are some of the highest paying jobs. Today, there are tens of thousands of jobs that are needed for engineers in AI. So just go from what you were doing now into AI. They need those engineers. There are thousands of jobs out there for plumbers, electricians, hairdressers. Hairdressers are probably 20,000 jobs out there that can't be filled. Go to those jobs. Some of those are very high paying. Some of them you have to wait a year or 2 before you make a lot of money, but you will. It's all those other jobs out there. Be an entrepreneur, go into one of those jobs. And if you do it really well, like some electricians I know or plumbers I know, you start your own business. Hire one person, do the extra business, then 2, then 3, and all of a sudden you're an entrepreneur in something that's going to just expand. There are so many jobs out there to do.
And I love it because you are just so positive. That is your message. You talk about management, or I've read some interviews that you've done about showing kindness in business management.
Yeah,
that's
even
almost,
in reprimanding them, kindness.
That's almost unheard of.
No, it is unheard of. And I say being nice works even for jerks, okay? I mean, really, I've had incidents where someone's really a jerk, right? I'm being a nice word, they were really a jerk, right? But by just being kind all the way and saying, I could appreciate that, however, and never being mean back, later on in life they come back or something happens where you were one of the nicest guys at one time, sure, I'd like to do business with you. Of course I would like to do business with you. And right now the big deal is AI. And I'm involved in AI, by the way, right now too. But there's other ways with AI to start a business. Now, other people ask me, JP, how can I start a business today with no money? How do I get distribution? How do I get my money right away? Because I don't have any money. I don't have distribution. And I invest in this company called Global, G-O-B-A-L, SKU, like S like in Sam, K like in Universe, Global SKU. $18 a month. That's it. You take your telephone and you take a picture of any old T-shirt you have in the closet, any a telephone you have, half of a bicycle, or anything new you want to come out. You just take the picture of it, right? If it's already been sold somewhere in the world, it's AI. Instantly shows you a picture of the product when it last sold and how much it sold for. And then you push a button. Do you want to go on, QVC? Do you want to go on this? Do you want, what do you want to go on? The big ones. Like if I were to say, if you wanted to sell an old T-shirt or a brand new product you have, and you went online, who would you go to? Which one would you put it on?
Probably the HSN. I haven't done that before.
No, but there's a bunch
or
of them. Or
Etsy.
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of them out. Okay, there's some out. I don't want to pinhole anybody. I'd use the biggest one there is right now, okay? But anyways, in other words, you push a button and you go on. There's 4 or 5 of them to choose from. You go on there, and that platform is the one that's going to sell it for you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, in other words, it costs you $15. And I think for that $15, that's nothing. One old T-shirt you can sell for more than that. But it gets you on, I think you're allowed to sell, I think it's like 20 or 25 items, on that per month for that mere $8. It gets you on immediately.
You have no fear.
Oh, no.
You have taken chances.
Yeah.
Would you say throughout your whole life,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
And you've been so successful at it. And I have to keep coming back to that, the kindness
Oh, yes.
that you espouse. How do you feel about the time we talked about interest rates and things of that nature,
Of course.
inflation. A lot of people are going through layoffs,
Of course.
major wage gaps.
Yep.
What do you see? Do you see that through for people that are in the corporate world? How do they keep that together by adopting kindness at the same time? Is that possible?
Yes,
to do
you
all
can.
those things?
Yes, you can. And again, I won't go into detail because I don't think we have the time, but it's in the book. How
Okay.
you use kindness along the way in many different situations, okay, and how you come out on top. And if you're used to being a regular director of a corporation and firing people, hiring people, how do you, even our agencies of the United States want the same thing, and I train them, by the way, in how to be a nice, kind manager, because our record is we have very little turnover considering how big we are. We're in 128 countries, okay, very little. How you could even reprimand somebody and they love you for it. How you reprimand somebody with kindness. There's a way to do it, to straighten them out, do the right job, but they love you after you've reprimanded them. Now, if people know how to do it, that's how they'll reprimand people. It won't be, well, I'm sorry you did a good job, you better straighten your act out or you're fired or whatever. There's a way to do it with kindness, and it works.
It almost sounds like how you raise children.
Oh, yeah.
You have to reprimand them at some
Yes.
point, right? And then
Right.
they generally appreciate it later in life.
Especially if you know how to do it with kindness.
See, John Paul DeJoria has lived an incredible life and has laid it all out in his new memoir.
You can't tell it all in an hour or two, but we condense it on how to have a happier life, how to start a lot of businesses, and become very successful.
In part 3, we dive into Success Unshared is Failure. That's tomorrow on The Conversation with Pat Harvey.